Caroline Hayes had never imagined that her life could be upended in a single instant. A respected high school teacher, she was known for her dedication to students, her calm demeanor, and her meticulous planning. Yet one ordinary morning, her phone rang with the news that would shake her to the core. Accusations of misconduct had been leveled against her, allegations so shocking and false that she struggled to breathe. The voice on the other end was firm and professional, yet it carried the weight of irrevocable change. "Miss Hayes, you are required to attend an immediate meeting regarding serious allegations at Lincoln High School." Her heart raced, fear pressing against her chest as if the walls themselves were closing in. She felt the room tilt around her. Years of reputation and career seemed to hang by a delicate thread. The weeks that followed were a blur of anxiety, sleepless nights, and legal consultations. Caroline could barely process the news before reporters began gathering outside her home, cameras flashing and microphones thrust forward. Her colleagues whispered cautiously, uncertain of how much to say, while her students watched with a mixture of concern and curiosity. In this chaos, one constant remained: Marcus Reed, her attorney, a man of calm authority and precise reasoning. "Caroline," he said during their first meeting, "we're going to navigate this together. Fear is natural, but we will let the truth speak for itself." His words were a lifeline, though the storm outside seemed unending. The first court appearance was surreal. The room, with its polished floors, tall ceilings, and solemn architecture, felt alien. Judge Eleanor Grant entered with the quiet command of someone who had spent a lifetime balancing justice with reason. Her presence alone seemed to calm the room, yet Caroline could feel the weight of scrutiny pressing down on her. The prosecutor, Peter Langston, exuded confidence, his words sharp and rehearsed, while the spectators whispered among themselves. The first witness, a young student, recounted statements that painted Caroline as reckless and irresponsible. Marcus's methodical cross-examination revealed inconsistencies, contradictions, and coached testimony, causing the first fissures in the prosecution's case. The courtroom buzzed as the judge observed silently, her attention focused on facts, her fairness unmistakable. As the trial unfolded, witnesses were called, each adding layers of tension and doubt. Teachers, staff, and even a janitor contributed testimonies, but under Marcus's careful guidance, contradictions emerged. Every claim that lacked evidence was gently but decisively dismantled. Then came the accuser herself, Lydia Marsh, a parent whose eyes gleamed with malice beneath a mask of civility. Her testimony, rehearsed and trembling, attempted to weave a narrative of misconduct, but Marcus's incisive questions highlighted the lack of corroboration, exposing the fragility of her claims. Judge Grant interjected when necessary, ensuring that the proceedings remained fair, factual, and free from manipulation. The trial quickly evolved from a defense against false accusations to a pursuit of truth and motive. Evidence revealed fabricated emails and records, tampered by an accomplice within the school. Karen Foster, a senior administrative assistant, admitted to providing falsified information under coercion from Lydia Marsh. The courtroom fell silent as the layers of deception were exposed, each revelation strengthening Caroline's position. Judge Grant's subtle interventions highlighted inconsistencies and forced the truth into the open. For Caroline, the tide was turning. Fear and anxiety were slowly replaced by cautious hope. The prosecution, sensing the unraveling of their case, attempted desperate maneuvers. New witnesses were presented, anecdotal claims were pressed, and emails misrepresented. But Marcus anticipated each strategy. Caroline faced Lydia directly, confronting her motives and exposing the jealousy and personal vendetta behind the accusations. The courtroom absorbed the confrontation with palpable tension. Lydia's hesitation, faltering testimony, and eventual silence spoke louder than any argument could. Judge Grant's firm insistence on factual consistency prevented theatrics from overshadowing truth. The defining moment came with the presentation of irrefutable evidence. Time-stamped emails, internal memos, and video footage from security cameras directly contradicted every claim made by the accuser. Caroline's professionalism, patience, and integrity were displayed before the court, leaving the prosecution without recourse. Judge Grant's ruling was precise. The charges were dismissed, the accusations unfounded, and the court recognized Caroline Hayes as innocent. Relief washed over Caroline like a tidal wave, tears mingling with exhaustion and triumph. The courtroom, once a place of dread, became a testament to the endurance of truth over falsehood. Following the verdict, the repercussions for Lydia Marsh and Karen Foster became clear. The court referred both to appropriate authorities for potential charges of perjury and evidence tampering. Caroline's reputation, once teetering on the edge of ruin, was now firmly restored. She returned to Lincoln High to a reception of admiration and support. Students presented handmade cards, colleagues embraced her, and even the principal expressed deep respect for her courage. The ordeal, painful as it had been, reinforced her commitment to teaching and to the principles of honesty and integrity. Judge Grant's final words underscored the moral and legal lessons of the trial. This case demonstrates that truth, diligence, and integrity are essential pillars of justice. Attempts to destroy another's life through falsehoods will not prevail when confronted with evidence and perseverance. Caroline, reflecting on the judge's wisdom, realized that the courtroom had been more than a place of judgment. It had been a crucible where courage and truth were tested and proven. In the months that followed, Caroline rebuilt her life. The media coverage shifted from scandal to triumph, and the story of her vindication became a quiet inspiration. She reconnected with her students, returning to her lesson plans with renewed passion. Colleagues and friends acknowledged her resilience, and Marcus's steadfast support remained a constant anchor. Legal consequences for the accuser and accomplice reinforced accountability, proving that deceit has consequences and that justice, though sometimes delayed, is inevitable. Caroline Hayes had survived an ordeal that would have broken many, yet she emerged stronger, wiser, and more determined. The nightmare of false accusations, betrayal, and public scrutiny had tested her in every dimension, yet it had also revealed an inner strength she had never fully recognized. She had confronted fear, deception, and manipulation with calm, logic, and courage, ultimately reclaiming her life, career, and dignity. As she stood in her classroom one morning, greeting the eager faces of her students, Caroline understood the enduring lesson. Integrity matters, evidence matters, and the courage to defend truth against overwhelming odds is one of life's most powerful acts. Her journey through fear and falsehood had ended, but its impact would resonate, not just in her life, but in the lessons she passed on to every student who would witness her story of perseverance, justice, and the triumph of truth.